Okay. It's right around 4:15 a.m. on today's Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. I wasn't planning on getting up this early. In fact, I was planning on having a decent night's sleep. However, there is a psychopath who is also a sex offender and a cyber criminal named Jasmine Irizarry, who continues to use some type of remote controlled electronic assault device on my person while I lie on my bed. And this started happening shortly after 3 a.m. and it continues until now. It stopped as soon as I got up from my bed and pulled out this can of coffee. It's a Starbucks espresso shot. I need about 5 of these right now. I don't drink alcohol, not really for religious purposes, but because my body is really sensitive to chemicals, particularly to narcotics and to prescription medications. I can't take prescription medications. Any kind of chemical substance has a really nasty effect on my system, including smoke, and especially smoke from cigarettes, from marijuana. I'm highly sensitive to that stuff, and it makes me sick. Coffee I can handle, and that is my drug of choice. And right now, I definitely and desperately need some coffee. The Greenville group, unfortunately, selectively chooses to house individuals who have some severe mental health issues. Jasmine Irizarry is a female, but she behaves like a male. She's a registered sex offender, according to the Massachusetts Sex Offender Registry, and she has issues with other females. I was informed that she targets other females. I actually witnessed her targeting another female on this floor back in 2014, before I actually knew what the deal was with this psychopath and sex offender Irizarry. She was literally harassing the crap out of a girl who didn't even live on this floor. She was simply dating one of the guys on this floor. And this girl who was dating one of the guys on this floor was a particularly pretty redhead. Irizarry seems to have a problem with light-skinned women. And she was literally hissing and screeching at this poor girl whenever this girl would come up to the floor and walk up the stairs, reach the top landing, and then would have to walk past Irizarry's door on her way to her boyfriend's door, which was down the hall from Irizarry's door, Unit 78, where Irizarry continues to access the premises of her former unit that has been conveniently kept vacant and empty by the Greenville group since they told me they moved Irizarry out in 2022. Irizarry, for some strange reason, was moved out of Unit 78 but continues to be housed in this building, according to Oleg Eliseyev, the property manager, who says a lot of things that don't make sense and also does a lot of things that don't make sense, such as moving Irizarry out of Unit 78 but then continuing to house her in this building, then keeping Unit 78 permanently vacant and empty for over a year and a half now, even though they're losing thousands of dollars in rent that they could be charging for that unit, especially since it has its own bathroom. The result of that is that the same exact identical pattern of stalking, harassment, and physical aggression that I experienced from the psychopath Jasmine Irizarry during the 9 years that she officially lived in Unit 78 behind that wall between 2013 and 2022 has continued to occur since 2022, in spite of the fact that officially, according to Greenville, she no longer lives in that unit, but obviously still lives in the building. One of the things that Irizarry likes to do is to use some type of remote capacity electronic assault device to physically assault me while I'm lying on my bed or when I use the toilet. She's a sex offender, so she tends to get really psychotically worked up over things that other people would not even bat an eyelash at. For instance, somebody using the toilet or somebody lying on their bed. But Irizarry is a mentally disturbed psychopath who obviously uses surveillance devices in people's living spaces and specifically in their bathrooms because she's a psycho perv. And then she psycho pervs all over everything that people do in the privacy of their living space. Then she harms them based on what she can see them doing in the privacy of their living spaces. That's a fact. The Boston police have told me several times that she's a psychopath. Greenville's own management staff have told me that she is a cyber criminal, although they did not use the word cyber criminal. They use the word, oh, she can hack into anything. She is so good. Okay, so there you go. They also told me themselves that she tends to target people, has a problem with other females, and that I should not piss her off. Whatever that means, because I wouldn't go near a piece of low-life trash like Irizarry if I was getting paid to do it. She's the one who starts coming towards you when she realizes you don't want to have anything to do with her. She's a stalker. That's what stalkers do. So let's talk about stalkers and about men who hate women, because even though Irizarry is a female biologically, she behaves like a male. She behaves like a male who hates women. This entire building complex is filled with men who hate women, as evidenced by the number of times these psycho turds make comments on my videos, even though none of them should even know that I exist, because I stay the hell away from these beta males who hate women. And you know you're dealing with a beta male when they hate women. Alpha males do not hate women. The only reason that I even live here is because it's economically convenient for me. It was economically convenient for me when I moved in here in 2011. I never moved in here to make friends or to provide the low-life scumbags that Greenville rents to with sexual favors. They're such miserable, woman-hating beta males that they think that females who live in this building, who happen to be not 500 pounds, owe them sexual favors. And then when you refuse to have anything to do with them because they are obviously low-life scum who have nothing to offer anyone with a brain, then they become violent and aggressive and intrusive, and then they won't leave you alone. Just check out all the comments that the low-life scum from this building have made on my YouTube videos, and who I don't even know who they are. There's this pathetic dipshit named Kevin. I have no idea who Kevin is. I don't think I've ever seen Kevin in my life. If I have, it's by accident while I've been in the process of leaving the building, or maybe coming back to the building and trying to do everything I can to avoid any interaction or contact with the low-life scum who live in this building. Kevin is a stalker. Kevin can't stop making these nasty comments on pretty much every single video that I make, thus proving my point about how the Greenville group rents mostly to woman-hating, low-life scum beta males such as Kevin, whose only way that they can possibly have anything to do with women is to psychotically harass them, right? That's the only way that these pathetic women-hating beta males can possibly have anything to do with normal females, is to stalk and harass them. And Kevin proves my point perfectly. I haven't blocked Kevin from my YouTube channel, even though I should, because he can't stop making nasty comments on every video that I make. It's almost like that's his full-time job, because Kevin obviously has no life, often making comments on my videos within a few minutes of me posting them. Again, I have no idea who Kevin is. I don't think I've ever said a word to Kevin or anyone else around here at all, ever, unless it was to defend myself somehow when they were coming at me, screaming at me, or throwing things at me, or attempting to physically assault me, as has been continually happening in and around this building complex since 2013. It all started happening in 2013, which is weird because I moved in 2011. The first 2 years of my tenancy here were pretty decent. There was nothing wrong. I was feeling perfectly safe. I didn't think that anyone was getting into this unit when I was away at work, because nobody was. Everybody seemed pretty normal. I had no issues with anyone. And as far as I know, nobody had any issues with me. It was only after 2013 when they moved Irizarry, the psychopath, cyber criminal, and sex offender, into Unit 78 behind this wall, that all hell started to break loose. And that's when all the psycho beta males started coming out of the woodwork and then flying at me in large numbers. So let's talk about these women-hating beta males. You know you're dealing with a bottom-feeding beta male when he hates women. Beta males hate women. Alpha males don't. I love alpha males. Unfortunately, there are not very many true alpha males out there. And when I say an alpha male, I don't mean a bully or some jackass who throws his weight around and tries to be in charge of everybody by bullying people or putting them down. No, that's just a beta male trying to be an alpha. I'm talking about a true alpha male. When I think of true alpha males, I think of guys like Tom Brady, who are absolutely the apex alpha male, but they don't have to do anything to prove it. They simply are. Tom Brady doesn't have to hate women. I'm sure he loves them. Maybe he has some issues with his ex-wife, but that's simply during the course of a relationship that didn't work out. It doesn't mean that he hates women. Tom Brady, as far as I can tell, respects women. He has no reason to hate women. And he's an alpha male without having to prove anything to anyone. He's an alpha simply by being himself. Man, I wish there were like 10 million Tom Bradys right now. Another beautiful alpha male that I wish were still alive was JFK Jr. JFK Jr. was also an alpha male. He didn't hate women, he loved them. He didn't have to hate women because if you're an alpha male, you don't have to hate women, right? Does that make sense? You are an alpha male because you love women and you treat them well and you do not stalk them or harass them or rape them or plant surveillance devices in their bathrooms and then spend your sad, wasted, rejected existence perving and creeping all over what women do in their bathroom when you know you will never have anything to do with these women. Alpha males don't do that, but beta males do. Rejected beta males are bottom-feeding low-life scum, as evidenced by the large numbers of them that live in this building and refuse to leave me alone. I absolutely do not go anywhere near the low-life scum in this building. I never have. That doesn't stop them from making up all kinds of stories about how they think that I'm a hooker, how they claim that there are multiple restraining orders against me from these low-life scum that are actually the ones who refuse to leave me alone. I've been physically assaulted by 6 of them over the last few years, all of them who were defended in court by the Greenville Group, the landlord, who is blatantly corrupt and stupidly prejudiced against anyone who isn't a bottom-feeding, perving, creeping beta male. I suspect that it's because the perving, creeping beta males in the management themselves have a soft spot for other perving, creeping beta males, and that is who they choose to rent to in large numbers. And then they defend these perving, creeping beta males in court when they physically assault women, such as myself, who refuse to have anything to do with them and who have made it clear that they don't want to have anything to do with these low-life scum. And that's when the low-life scum show their beta bottom feeding status by physically assaulting me, if not other women, by physically stalking me, if not stalking other women, by physically refusing to leave me alone, if not refusing to leave alone other women. I don't know if other women have problems like this with these same creeps, but I'd be surprised if they didn't. So those are the beta males, folks. They are the low-life scum who hate women. They demonstrate their bottom-feeding beta maleness by hating women, by stalking them, by harassing them, by refusing to leave them alone, by tasing them based on what these women do in the privacy of their living spaces and refusing to leave them alone, by trying to harm them because